Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, in celebration of the new Spring to Life game drop coming out, I'm making a tier list of all the new features that have been added. In this beautiful meadow biome that I have slightly decorated, we have our tier list in all of its glory. If you don't know how one of these works, it's pretty simple. S tier is the best, F tier is the worst. And for pretty much all of these, I'm going to be ranking them based on functionality and aesthetic value. So I guess without further ado, we should probably just get right into it. So first up, we have the leaf litter. And if you haven't seen my update video that I put out this morning, you can go ahead and check that out. I go over everything that was added in this game drop. The leaf litter is found in places like this, as well as in forests. And I think it adds a lot of aesthetic value to those biomes. It can also be used as fuel, as compost material. If I go over to this forest over here, it already looks 10 times better than what they used to look like. I never cared about forests, and just seeing these little things on the ground. I also have this, hold on, let me take my resource pack off. Sorry, I had a resource pack that added some flowers on the ground. But if you look here, this forest just looks more alive, even though these leaves are technically dead. And along with the flowers, it just makes them look a lot more pretty. And for those reasons, I'm going to put it in the A tier. Next up, we have the wildflowers, and I'm actually going to put this in the S tier. This is our first S tier. And the reason it is an S tier is just mostly for the aesthetic value, but also the functionality. It can be used to breed bees, they can pollinate them, and you can also turn them into yellow dye. When you bone meal them, then you can just duplicate them as many times as you want, and for that, it goes in the S tier. Next up, we have the regular bush, and that's going to be in a B tier, because compared to things in this row mostly, these are pretty lackluster. They do look nice. I mean, I have them sitting in front of our little items board. They look nice, but they don't really do much when it comes to aesthetics compared to things like the wildflowers and the cactus flowers. There's not much going on. I do like how, I guess, bushy it is, but I mean, there's not really much. You can bone meal and compost them, but that's really it when it comes to functionality. I am excited to use them in builds though, but it is going in the B tier. Now, the firefly bush. This is immediately an S tier. If you don't remember Minecraft Live a couple years ago, people were really excited about the fireflies, which then were removed from the game. I never really cared about that. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But when they introduced the firefly bush, I think it was better than the original firefly concept anyways. My little DIY river, if you look at these firefly bushes, they spawn little particles, and it looks so good. If you listen closely, you can also hear the cicada sounds, which I think is incredible. They give off light, they can be bone mealed. It just adds so much to the game. I am a sucker for new particles and new ambient sounds, so it's going in S tier. Next up is the cactus flower, and I'm going to put this in a B tier because I do like the texture, but it is really big. I think if it was maybe half its size, it could look really cool. I'm also a little sad that it is centered on every block. If we look at things like the dry grass, you can see that it's offset in each block, so it's got a little bit of variance. The cactus flower does not, and I guess that is because of its size, but if it was shrunk down a little bit, you could have a little more variance to these cacti. You can compost it, you can turn it into pink dye. That's pretty good, but because of the size, I think it's going to go into B tier. Up next is the short and tall dry grass, and this is going to be our first D tier. Now, I don't hate these blocks. I think they do look really nice, but when I imagined dry grass in deserts, I thought about like tumbleweeds and things like that, and if they're going to be updating the deserts like they have been, imagine how cool it would look if you had things like this just kind of flying past you in the desert. Again, it does look cool, but I would like them to maybe be a little more interesting. You can't really do much with them other than compost them. You can also bone meal them, but I don't think I'm going to need too much of these. Next up, we have the cold variants of all the mobs. The cold chicken is my favorite thing ever. It is going in an S tier. The second I saw it for the first time, I was in love. The back of his head looks like a fork. The cold cow is really cute. I love how fuzzy it is and how the horns stick out straight in front of it. It's going to be going in an A tier. Here is our little cold pig, and I like him, but this pig just kind of looks like it's all skin, and I understand that a pig with mostly just skin is the pink version, but other than the little fur thing sticking out at the bottom, it looks like it's just bare. It is cute, but it's going to be going in a B tier. Next are the warm versions of these mobs. I really like the warm chicken. It looks like it has like, I don't know, a miniature sand dune on it, the way its feathers are like layered. I think it looks really cool. I'm going to be putting the warm chicken in an A tier. The warm cow is cool. I like the horns, but its texture is a little, again, just bare. It kind of looks like it's missing a lot. I think if the white was kind of a little higher, we had a little more on the textures, especially these legs. They're very, I don't know, it looks like he's wearing shoes. He's cute, but he's going to be going in a D tier. The warm pig faces the same fate as the cold pig. It looks a little less bare, but I do think it's lacking a little bit. It does have a little odd eyebrows. Maybe a big old unibrow. So warm pig is going to be going in a B tier. Now when it comes to functionality, there really is no difference between the temperate and the new variants, except for the chickens laying the new eggs, which I will get to in just a minute. And because there's not actually anything going on with the functionality, I'm going to be moving the cold chicken down one. I love the cold chicken. I love all of the new animal variants, but in order to be an S tier, you kind of gotta add a lot more. Speaking of the chicken, the next things we have are the brown and blue eggs, and these are going to be going in the D tier. There is zero difference between these eggs and the regular eggs, other than the type of chicken it spawns. You use them for the same recipes. There's nothing there. There's nothing going on. It doesn't mean they're bad, though. I do like the additions. If they're going to add new chicken types, they should add the new egg type so you can get them wherever you want, but it's nothing game-changing. Next up are the fallen trees that they added in certain forests. I'm sure if I fly around, I can probably see one or two. There's some. You can see the birch trees falling over. That one has a little mushroom on it. Now, this would go in a D tier for me, but I'm really excited they're adding a lot more Bedrock parody features. This has been a feature in Bedrock Edition for years. I honestly can't remember when they added it. Anytime I played Bedrock, which was maybe once every other year, unless there's a Minecraft event going on, but when I did play Bedrock, it was really nice to see those fallen trees scattered around in the forests. It adds a little more story to the biomes, which I think is really nice, so I'm going to be putting those in a B tier. Now, I already said I'm a sucker for more particles and more ambience, so when I get to the leaf particles, I have to put them in an A tier. If you've watched my island renovation series, you'll see that I already had a mod that added leaf particles, but going to all the other biomes and finally seeing them added in vanilla is so cool. I mean, come on. And I guess now is a pretty good time to say that these are all just my opinions. If you don't agree, make your own tier list, or let me know what you would have put. I am curious to see what y'all think of each edition, so you can let me know in the comments, but don't get mad at my opinion, okay? There's nothing you can do. Next up, we have the new sounds that have been added, and I think the most prominent ones are the new wolf sounds and the new desert sounds, but there's a lot more than you'd think. Dead bushes actually make sound now, and when you're in the desert, it's not the biome you're in, it's actually the blocks of sand and red sand and even terracotta that's making those sounds. So if you wanted to, you could bring them with you. You don't need to be in a desert to hear the new desert sounds, which is really cool. If I'm going to build my own desert biome, which I do plan on doing in island renovation, I want these custom sounds. I think the sound mechanics in this game are a big reason why I love it so much, so I'm going to be putting these new sounds in S tier. Obviously there's no functional value with them, but I think sounds are one of the biggest aesthetic things you can put in a base, or really anywhere. I mean, imagine you walked up to these animals and they were just silent. They've made 2 sounds in that one sentence I just said. You can't not have sounds, so the more they add, the better. Now we have the village maps, which I have stated my opinion on them. If you watch my Minecraft Live recap video, I go over a change that I would have made. I do like the story that it adds, you know, cartographers from one village showing you how to get to another. That is an interesting little lore thing. But until we get the new permanent villager changes, I don't think there's too much to do with this. But I don't know, things like this I think could be added a little differently. In my Minecraft Live recap, I suggested maybe adding a crafting recipe for them, which would include maybe paper and a compass and a block from the biome. to suggest that it would be leading to that biome. So for me, these maps are going to go in our F tier. This is our first F tier. It's honestly probably going to be the only one. I don't see myself ever using this feature until they've updated the villagers and we see different book types and different villages and different villager types having a lot more trades per biome. I don't see myself using that. The new lodestone recipe is so great. I've always wanted to use lodestones, but I never really got to, because when I get netherite, I get enough for my tools and my armor, and that's it. I'm not taking more time to get an ingot for a lodestone. And I mean, just looking at it, there's no sign of netherite in this. This is the same texture that they've used since they were added in the nether update. There's nothing that suggests it would use netherite. And for something as useful as a lodestone, I mean, in my island renovation series, if I go out exploring, I need that. I need my lodestone compass. So for something as useful as this, I think it's really important to make it more accessible. So for that, it's going in the A tier. There you go. The new Wandering Trader trades, I think, are pretty cool. I just don't ever see myself selling a water bucket or a water bottle or anything like that to a Wandering Trader. I mean, if one's spawning, I'm never going to be like, oh, it wants a bucket of milk. Good thing I have those. I'm not gonna have a bucket of milk on me, and if I do, I don't want to give it to him. Being able to buy logs from the Wandering Trader is pretty cool, but again, if I'm gonna be buying logs, I want the sapling. I don't want to just buy a couple logs and just be restricted to only building with those. I want to be able to buy the sapling, which again, you can do, but that was already in the game. So these new trades are gonna go in D tier. And this. The cows and mushrooms have new textures. They're a little more detailed on their sides and their snouts stick out, which I think is really cool. In my opinion, the cow one looks odd. I don't know why. Like, I know it looks normal, but it just looks odd to me. I do think the mushroom one looks really nice, though. So I like that one. I don't know how I feel about the cow, but I do love the side textures being worked on. They do look nice. This doesn't change anything in the game, though, so I am going to put it down to a D tier. The texture changes aren't as obvious as the new chicken, cow, and pig types, so there it is. Beacon beams can now be seen over 16 chunks away, and they go up to 2,048 blocks tall, which is so cool. When I play modded Minecraft, the first mod I add is Zero's minimap, because I need my waypoints. I love being able to look around my world and seeing all the spots that I've added where I've seen, you know, a trail ruin or a biome that I like. So being able to go, obviously, these are a little expensive, but if I find something really cool or if I want to mark different areas of my base, I can have these beacon beams and I can see them a little further away. And even if I am still in the distance that you could have seen before, they're a little bit thicker and they are easier to see. Now imagine having a bunch of these around your base with different colors and just having them stick out more than they used to. I think that's so cool. So that's going to go in the B tier. I'm excited to use that. And now the last thing that we have on our tier list is the new spawn eggs. And this is going, I mean, come on. This is filling up the rest of them. Just looking at these makes the creative tab much more interesting to look at. I can see how much easier this would be for people with color blindness or, you know, a lot more difficult seeing than I do. So something like this, just being able to differentiate them is so useful, as well as look how cute it is. I mean, come on, the parrot, the bee, come on. Okay, the husk is a little boring, but still, I hate the tadpole egg though. I think it's horrifying. I think it's scary. My personal favorites are the LA, the bee. I really like the parrot egg and the snow golem. They're so cute. I could look at these forever. They are so cool. And I really like that they didn't really do anything with the creeper spawn egg except for add the face. I think that's genius. And if they didn't do that, I have no idea what they would have done. And there you have it, guys. This is my official Minecraft Spring to Life tier list with all the main new features. Let me know what you thought about my placements, and if you have different areas that you would have put these items, let me know in the comments. I am, again, very interested to see what y'all would have done. I do want to make a separate tier list for the new spawn eggs, since there are so many, but I don't want to put that in this video. I kind of want one tier list per video. That's a little much. So maybe soon to come, you might see another tier list video for the spawn eggs. But that is all I have for this video today. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, and if you really enjoyed and you want to help me out, go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. If you want to see more of these tier list videos, let me know. I have a ton of ideas, not just things related to the new update. I've played this game for 15 years. I have a lot of opinions. I want to share them. So let me know if you want to see that. Before I go, I just want to remind you that you can get 3 new capes. You can get this one for watching 3 minutes of Minecraft content on Twitch, and you can get another one, which is pretty much the same thing, but it's a nether portal. And you can get another one, it's pretty much the same one, but it's nether themed, by watching 3 minutes of Minecraft content on TikTok. And by the time this video releases, the 3rd cape is going to be available to get. If you join the official Minecraft server on Bedrock Edition, they're hosting a little event. You can play some mini games that are related to the Minecraft movie, and if you win enough, I don't actually know all the details about it, but if you win the games, you do get a new cape. But other than that, that's all I got for y'all. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye!